Hello, this is Dr. Lindsay Cauthen from Baylor College of Medicine's Career Development Center. Welcome back to Success Stories. We're so excited to be able to feature one of our School of Health Professions, Orthotic and Prosthetics students who has successfully finished her training. Welcome, Bianca. We're so excited to feature you.
You so much.
Yes, we'd love to hear a little bit about the research that you've done while you're here in the training program here at Baylor, and also just some background about you.
Yeah. So like you said, my name is Bianca. My research before coming to Baylor was all over the place, and it's funny to think about my journey and how things have changed. But I did my master's thesis on the relative presence of O&P providers in areas of high amputation risk across the country. So basically trying to create visuals that would represent things that haven't been looked at before to determine high amputation risk, like social determinants of health mainly. So looking at limited transportation, food deserts, things that we know contribute to somebody's well-being that haven't been looked at before, as far as amputation risk and the need for O&P providers. So just looking to basically try to decide, are we where we need to be as a field to take care of the most vulnerable patients?
Excellent. That is such impactful research. And as you were talking about it, I was remembering one of our first, I think, meetings and us talking about this. And I was just thinking about you've done so much work, but then also this work is translatable into application points. So thank you for all of the input that you've given, all of the effort, and how you're making a difference for patients. It's huge. So
Yeah,
thank
thank you.
so how did you first connect with our center? And we'd love to just hear a brief overview of what you found to be helpful in your first experience with us.
Oh man. Well, it's funny. It's like most helpful is I could just give you such a long list. My first interaction with the center was actually at the Activities and Organization Fair. I think that's what it's called.
Mhm.
So like within my first few weeks or months being on campus, and I just stopped by the table to see what resources were available to Baylor students. I also at the time was class president for my cohort, and I was kind of dreaming up with my program director a sort of open house to introduce people to O&P and spread awareness about the field. So I decided to plant that seed at the table. So the next time I saw you and Dr. Dice was at the open house. And I remember being so impressed and excited to know that not only do we have resources available to us through the Career Development Center, but the people who staff the Career Development Center really care about our programs and the students at the college. That was really meaningful. It was cool to see you guys come and to know that you were really trying to learn more about what we do so that you can really support us better in all of our endeavors.
Thank you. It was so amazing to be able to come down to the basement lab, as we like to call it, with you guys. It's a little scary to get there if you've
It's
ever been.
always the basement. It's always the basement.
That will, good things we'll say happen in the basement, at least at Baylor. And it was just fascinating, a whole new world for us. And we did learn so much. And that really, as you mentioned, that informs the work that we're able to do to advocate for all of you, to help you find your own voice and to really prepare you for the next step. So thanks for being really aware of how you could engage with us, and then also just taking those steps. I think that helped also for us to see where we could make those connection points. So
Yeah,
it was really a good experience, it sounds like, on both sides. What
of
do you feel
course.
like, yes, what do you feel like is your best takeaway in terms of skills or knowledge that maybe we've shared with you in workshops or one-on-ones or even resources? You kind of let me know what it is that you'd like to pick from here.
Um, it's really is so hard because I've done so much. I that first encounter really was me reaching out to the Career Development Center, just seeing what's available, and trying to make use of resources. But after that, everything that I've done has been something that your department has hosted and organized and invited us to. So, like the workshops that you mentioned and getting tips on writing a good resume and getting ready for a professional conference and just I think I've taken something away from each event that I've gone to, and I think I've met with you or Dr. Dice several times. Sometimes to get like really last minute feedback on applications. And yeah, I've taken something away from all of it. I think if I had to pick one thing, we had a virtual job fair, and it was at the end of a day, at the end of a week, and I was so tired going into that job fair. And I remember just thinking, okay, well, we'll just do our best to just, see what this is all about. I didn't really have too much more of a goal going into it. And it was so helpful to hear from employers, not just so that I knew like who was hiring and where, but so that I could get a sense of, oh, there are companies that are actually really excited to hire us, and to understand what we're worth to the companies, what we can bring to the companies from their perspective. I think that was really new. And I had really never experienced something like that before. So I came away from that feeling really optimistic and excited about looking for jobs, applying for jobs. And I knew that was going to be a process, but I think my biggest takeaway was just learning how to engage with those kinds of opportunities and professional growth and exposure in ways that are really exciting and fun.
I'm so glad to hear that was a great experience for you. I
Yeah.
think one of the things that amazes me is we see how amazing all of you are. And then sometimes we don't see that mirrored back in what you know about yourself. And as you continue to build your confidence and then hear from these outsiders saying the same things that we say about all of you, that's where I see that light bulb moment. I get really excited about it. And just to empower all of you to sit up and say, I am awesome by virtue of being myself, and all this other additional training that I have and expertise is also just adding on another layer. And there are so many people that really are looking for the kind of expertise and also the heart that we have in the trainees here at Baylor. So really excited. That brings us to next steps for you. So I'd love to hear about what's next and you're kind of thinking about the future for you.
Yeah, so I have accepted a job in Tucson, Arizona. So I will be a full-time clinician. Yeah, I'm excited. And it'll be really interesting because I'll spend some of the time at a really well-established set of clinics in the Tucson area, but then I will also commute out to a more remote area. And I'll be working with patients who are coming off like Native American reservations for their care. There's a federal prison in the area, and I have really strong feelings about providing good healthcare to inmates. So it's just going to be a really different experience, and I'm really excited about that. So that'll be what's next for me starting next year.
And look at that full circle moment, Bianca, as we talk about the narrative that you build and finding your voice, the research that you've done, and now you're going to these communities and being able to continue those efforts as a clinician. I'm so excited for Tucson. They're not
Yeah,
going to know what
thank
hit
you.
them in a good way, right? And also your patients. Oh, I just can't wait to continue to follow you as you spread your wings. So
Thank
excited for
you.
you. So as you finish up your training at Baylor, and we have mixed feelings, it's always bittersweet for us because we get so attached, but part of our job obviously is to help you get to the next step.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for other students?
I would say find your people. I think obviously that is within your program and your department, but I think Baylor has so much to offer in the way of resources. So, if you are in need of help, if you are looking for a certain resource, if you have something you want to offer to the Baylor community, you have a really unique idea, or you're excited about something, find the folks who will help you to make it happen and make it happen because you really can while you're at Baylor.
Excellent. Well, all the best to you, Bianca. We are
Thank
excited to
you.
follow you and cheer you on. And as you know, I'll be checking in with you and featuring you whenever I can on some of those alumni panels and various things that we hold for other trainees. So be on the lookout for
Thank you.
some reach outs. And to all of those that have joined us, thank you so much for your time. We're looking forward to our next session. Have a great one. Take care.
Thank you.